Welcome to Time Capsule Chronicles, your ultimate window to the past. Dive into a treasure trove of rare and captivating vintage photographs that bring history to life. From breathtaking moments frozen in time to the finest and most elusive snapshots of the past. Enjoy watching. Raymond Robinson, known in urban legends as Charlie No Face, was a real person who survived a horrific accident as a child. In 1919, at the age of 8, he was electrocuted by an 11,000-volt power line while trying to climb a pole to view a bird's nest. The accident left him severely disfigured, with his eyes, nose, and part of his arm destroyed. Mirin Dajo, born Arnold Gerrit Henskes in the Netherlands, was a designer and artist who became famous in the 1940s for his seemingly supernatural ability to withstand extreme bodily piercing. His stage performances shocked audiences as he allowed swords, rapiers, and other sharp objects to be pushed through his body, sometimes piercing vital organs without showing signs of pain or severe injury. One of the most haunting images from the Auschwitz concentration camp shows the interior walls of a gas chamber, marked with deep scratches believed to be the desperate claw marks of victims. These imprints serve as a chilling reminder of the unimaginable suffering endured by those who perished in the Holocaust. Women played a significant role in the resistance against U.S. and South Vietnamese forces. In 1972, deep in the jungles of Nam Can, a group of female Viet Cong fighters gathered in secrecy. To protect their identities, they wore masks, ensuring that, if captured, they could not betray their comrades under torture. These women served as fighters, medics, spies, and couriers. Myrtle Corbin was born in 1868 in Tennessee, USA, with a rare congenital condition called diphagus, which resulted in her having 2 separate pelvises and 4 legs. This condition occurred due to an incomplete separation of her twin in the womb, leaving her with a fully developed extra set of legs. Fannie Mills, born around 1860, was a sideshow performer in the late 19th century, often referred to as the Ohio Bigfoot Girl. She suffered from Milroy's disease, a rare genetic disorder that caused extreme swelling, elephantiasis, in her feet and lower legs. Because of this, her feet grew to an enormous size, and she used special oversized shoes, sometimes called creepers or pod shoes. Miller survived 54 years after being shot. Over the next 17 years, fragments of lead continued to emerge from his wound, occasionally working their way out of his forehead. This astonishing process continued for 14 more years, with pieces of the bullet slowly being expelled by his body. Violet Jessup was an Irish-Argentinian ocean liner stewardess and nurse who survived 3 of the most infamous maritime disasters in history, earning her the nickname the Unsinkable Woman. RMS Olympic, 1911. RMS Titanic, 1912. HMHS Britannic, 1916. On the night of the 11th of June, 1962, 3 prisoners, Frank Morris and brothers John and Clarence Anglin, executed one of the most famous prison escapes in history from Alcatraz, the high-security island prison in San Francisco Bay. The prisoners crafted lifelike dummy heads using molded soap wax, toilet paper, and real human hair collected from the prison barbershop. They placed these heads in their beds to fool the guards during night checks. On the 10th of June, 1990, British Airways Flight 5390, a BAC 111 aircraft, was en route from Birmingham, UK to Malaga, Spain, when a terrifying accident occurred. At an altitude of 5,300 meters, 17,000 feet, the cockpit windshield suddenly shattered, causing an explosive decompression. The force sucked Captain Tim Lancaster out of the cockpit. Only his legs remained trapped inside the aircraft, wedged between the control panel and the yoke. The co-pilot, Alastair Aitchison, took control of the aircraft while head steward Nigel Ogden grabbed the captain's legs, preventing him from being completely ejected. Ogden, despite freezing temperatures and hurricane-force winds, held onto Lancaster's legs for nearly 20 minutes while the plane descended for an emergency landing. Other crew members assisted by securing Ogden so he wouldn't be pulled out as well. The co-pilot successfully landed the aircraft in Southampton, all while believing Lancaster was dead. To everyone's shock, Captain Tim Lancaster was still alive. He suffered frostbite from extreme cold, fractures and bruising from the wind pressure, but fully recovered and returned to flying months later. Robert Earl Hughes was one of the heaviest recorded individuals in medical history. His extreme weight gain began in childhood and was caused by a malfunctioning pituitary gland, which led to excessive growth and weight accumulation. Rapid weight gain. At 6 years old, 92 kilograms. At 10 years old, 170 kilograms. At 13 years old, 248 kilograms. At 18 years old, 314 kilograms. At 27 years old, 430 kilograms. At his peak in February 1958, 486 kilograms, 1,071 pounds. Hughes was 184 centimeters, 6 feet tall, but his enormous weight severely restricted his mobility. He spent most of his life in a modified bed or custom-built chair. Despite his condition, he was known for his kindness and positive attitude. To support himself, Hughes traveled with carnivals and sideshows where he was exhibited as the world's heaviest man. This was a common practice at the time for individuals with rare conditions, as medical treatments for such extreme obesity were limited. On the 10th of June, 1958, at the age of 32, Hughes died from complications of measles, which led to congestive heart failure. At the time of his death, he weighed around 450 kilograms, 990 pounds. Due to his size, a special casket and a reinforced grave had to be constructed to accommodate him. His story remains one of the most extraordinary cases in medical history, highlighting the effects of untreated glandular disorders and extreme obesity. On the 6th of August, 1945, the world witnessed one of its most devastating moments when the atomic bomb, Little Boy, was dropped on Hiroshima, Japan. The explosion unleashed a blinding flash of intense heat and radiation, instantly incinerating tens of thousands of people. Hiroo Onoda was a Japanese Imperial Army intelligence officer who continued to fight for nearly 30 years after World War II had ended, believing that the reports of Japan's surrender were enemy propaganda. Michael Rockefeller, the 23-year-old son of New York Governor and future U.S. Vice President Nelson Rockefeller, disappeared under mysterious circumstances in November 1961 while on an anthropological expedition to Dutch New Guinea, now part of Indonesia. Michael Rockefeller, the 23-year-old son of New York Governor and future U.S. Vice President Nelson Rockefeller, disappeared under mysterious circumstances in November 1961 while on an anthropological expedition to Dutch New Guinea, now part of Indonesia.